Okay, we good to go now. I tell you about this. About where we're at on this Webster Magneto. Up to this point, condition wise, and well, I did. I've already done it, and I'll tell you about it. This whole story here, I'll tell you where we're up to now, and the reason kind of for that decision. And so I'll be under on the other table. I done already had the little hole gauge, you know. Um, I done already put the little thing in there, and did it like that, and got my measurement, and then I took it on the micrometer and verified this right here is perfect on the size. Let's see what it did. It's 437 thousandths is what it's supposed to be. Okay, this measurement right here, that's how big that hole is. Perfect on the size. And if you take this right here and you bring it over here on the micrometer and you measure it in there, oh, it's 437. It's not a little bit that way or a little bit this way. It's just 437 straight across. Okay, that's the size it's supposed to be. And taking that in consideration with the size of the shaft, how much clearance do you have? And then on the get-go, you took the original ones and did the same thing, and you had this. And see, if you put that in there, that's quite loose. In this old housing, that's the one that was on this engine, and it's quite loose. And I mean, that's just, there ain't no need to go no further at this point because it's supposed to be 437, and you can already tell it's worn out. But any more measurement, you're just verifying how much is it worn out. And any is too much. And this one here is the same way. It's just it's oval. It's egg shaped. So at that point, along with the measurement from the best I could, having nothing to go by, no stats, blueprints or nothing, but just by visual and the amount of side plate, and thinking that's probably what the problem is. So you can see on the face of this right here that it's worn quite a lot. And it's been worn twice. It worn, like right down here, there's a brown spot about halfway around that's tapered that way. Okay, and then sometime along later, it went the other way. And this is the new shiny part. That's the part that was rubbing against the armature shaft across through there. This shim rides against that, like that. So the amount of wire here on both of these original ones, and this one here, maybe possibly, you can see that it's worn a lot, but half of it wore quite a bit more than this part out here, and it's wore at a taper. So to fix this original one, you know, you have to set it up in some kind of jig over and bore this out to a size that you can press another piece of material in there to be a bushing. So you press that bushing in there, and then you turn the inside of the bushing to be true to this outside edge right here. That's the register that determines the center of this. Well, and not the bolt pattern. The original ones had tapered bolts, and the replacement, the replacement's got a flathead screw on it. And there is a couple of difference, and it might be to the good of the Magneto, is the original ones had these poplars, little ball bearing thing, so you had to have a special kind of oil can to oil this Magneto. Like one of them Eagles, you know, it's got a pumper on it. You'd press that down with a ball on the end of it. It had to have a round type of ball. It would press that down, and then you'd shoot some oil in it. Well, most likely that's the reason this Magneto worn the way it did in this bushing, is probably nobody never did oil it because it probably didn't have the right kind of oil can. So the replacement comes with these flip toppers with a little felt down in there, and that way you can raise this up with any kind of oil can, just a dripper, and pour you some in there. So it does encourage oiling to switch over to the newer type. But just, you know, general observance of this thing and measuring it up, it's really good. I commend the maker of this part right here. Machining on it's good. Looks like all the specs is good. And this center part right here, I say, is the part that registers onto this house. No, it registers onto the inside of this, not the outside flange part. And this one also did the same thing. The center part here is what registered in there, and it just happened to have some tapered screws in it. But up to this point, all I've done is put this end plate on here. The casting's good on this, patina's good and everything. Just a good part. And I just shoved it in there like that. It looks clean and everything in there. And I am going to use the original windings in there. I'm going to leave that wire in there and give it a chance to fail, because it's in fairly good condition, even though it's old and dry and brittle. A couple places even is exposed there, but I don't think in an area where it'll cause any problems, and there's no reason to spend another $60 on it if it's not a problem. So, you know, a little oiler on that the pre-oil. Yeah. And yeah, I got a little oil on that right there. Basically, there's nothing to this except to center that thing up on a, you know, kind of an orderly manner with no restrictions, and then put the two end plates on it and there's nothing else to do on the inside there. So well, it's a nice day here in Tennessee. Shop door open. Airplane practicing outside, I suspect. Oh yeah, these little oilers, they have a little felt wick down in there, little wick in yonder. It'll look like that.